I realized that there's something very odd about our student body. And I think everybody here may be a little bit of an exception, but I found that there's this gap, there's this distance between the knowledge that we consume, the theories and ideologies we're discussing in all of our classrooms, and real life, and where these ideologies are functioning, and where they're actually taking place in a tangible medium. And I found that this was particularly true for powerful systems and powerful institutions. For some reason, we can talk about oppression, and we can talk about inequality, and we can have all these sophisticated discussions in our politics classrooms, but we don't see it when it comes to our university. For some reason, when you're kind of a member of the institution, it's almost like you're too close for comfort. You can't take a step back and really look at this picture. When I first started at the University of Toronto, I kind of immediately had this impression that politics belonged nowhere in the classroom, right? I was really excited to discuss very particular things, and I was faced with, oh, that's taboo, that's controversial, that needs more context to be discussed. Kind of was under the impression that maybe it's all politics, like maybe education's just education. It's up to us individually to go out and translate that into whatever, we want to do. Today I hold a very different belief, and I think there's two important things that I need to particularly highlight. The first is that politics are not meant to be kept out of our classrooms. Politics belong inside of our classrooms. They belong inside of our classrooms. In fact, to me at least, education is political. And the goal of education should always, always be political. The goal of education is to produce human beings that are political activists, that are justice seekers, that are human beings who care about fellow human beings, not careerists and opportunists and people oriented with, how I'm going to network and how I'm going to get this resume boosted. That's not the point of education. Right? Yeah. I have never, ever been guided by a pursuit for a career. Ever. Education to me fundamentally is about learning truth, is about growing intellectually, and it has never been about becoming a lawyer or getting a reward system or being awarded some kind of contract. So then why does this distance exist, right? Like, there's no way in such an intelligent student body that nobody has really taken a step back and thought about it. And it's recently that I've realized that this distance is deliberate, it's manufactured, it's systematic, and it's supposed to exist. And so it was never about politics not being inside the classroom, it was about my politics being inside the classroom. There was no room, right? They were deliberately isolated and censored and framed as controversial, but this is all an effort to maintain the ideology and the politics of the powerful apparatus in our society. And they reinforce their ideologies every single day by rendering mine inadmissible in education. And so given this little game that our powerful have going inside of my classroom, the University of Toronto is certainly not apolitical. In fact, it is a political project in itself. When you are responsible for shaping the minds of 70,000 students, you have an unimaginable power in influencing an entire generation. And so UofT has a responsibility to provide us with education that is guided by humanitarianism, by justice seeking, and a genuine effort to make our society a better place. So when we are denied access to a scholar like Azarova, we are being robbed. UofT is breaking some form of contract created in good faith, right? We do our part. We pull our all-nighters and we produce scholarship and we network like it's a day job, and in return for this investment into U of T, we expect quality education, free of selective censorship and bias. We believe in U of T. My first year self came inside my classrooms and said, everything presented to me, this little 18-year-old Lina, everything presented to me, I will take exactly as is. And it took me 3 or 4 years on this campus to start taking a step back and thinking, wait a minute. So when you're framing your curriculum and your scholarship to reinforce the status quo, call me crazy, but I feel like that's not education anymore. It's almost like propaganda, or almost advancing a certain, it's almost like enforcing a particular type of ideology. And of course, I am making a bit of a generalization. There have been incredible faculty and staff and programs that have done diligent work to try to challenge this mainstream effort. I want you guys all to leave here today thinking about your place in the world, not to be cliche, but your value as a young populace. And from there, rethink your relationship with your education. Okay, I don't know if we're all graduating soon, if there's some first or second years I can save, but I want you guys to ask yourselves, am I at the University of Toronto because I'm seeking truth about the world? Do I want to know the statistics and the cases that went on in Palestine? Or do I need to know exactly what's going to get me through this essay so I can get this credit and get the hell out of here? I really, really hope you guys think about the relationship you have with U of T and your education more generally, and understand that none of us outlined the terms of this relationship. However, we're hoping to start outlining them today.